Greetings, dear friends. We continue working on the game block. In this lesson, we will implement this sorting option and add a few styles to make the block more similar to what we have in the layout. Let's start by going to the editor and editing our block. We will insert a heading for it. Use the spam tag to highlight in a detailed and comprehensive manner the word. Save it. Okay, but we will need to add more styles. And on the right side, we need this kind of sorting. It has a certain label. Ooh. Let's copy it. Go to our pitch for the games box and find the section where we wanted to do the sorting. In this section, by the way, why not? We will add it right here in this section now. Let's do it. Add a span with the class label. Into which I will insert this value, and then it will be a separate form, essentially. It will be a select. And I will now create this separate form or insert the value into it. Now we will come up with what kind of form we can insert. Anything our imagination allows. We can add this. And then later in DS, we will attach this separate form to our request. So first of all, we will have a form. In this form, we will have a select. Let's call it sorting. And also sorting. Then from here we will also cut this out. It will be closed. First, the select is closed, then the form is closed. And inside we will have options. One, the default sorting is when we have empty. Next, sorting by date. For example, the more recent published ones will be displayed higher. Let's call it sort by latest. Next, we can sort by price, for example. Sort by price, but for price it can be ascending or descending, so we will set low to high. And high to low. That means we will essentially have two fields. From lowest to highest, from highest to lowest, what else can we set? Maybe by popularity. We did something similar in a separate block. We know that there is a meta box for this. Therefore, we will set the sort by popularity titles. And in principle, this is all I need for the demonstration. Now let's come up with the IDs. We invent these IDs ourselves, then we will attach to them and add conditions. So let's see how wonderfully it continues. What is being created here? Here it is being created, this HTML. It currently has a separate form. In principle, we can refer to it through this class. Then we move to DS and we'll try to intercept the data. So we have a filter form and there will also be a sort form. totem form and class. This custom will be the selector for this form. Next, when editing this form, we essentially need to simulate the same thing as here. Therefore, we refer to the sorting form object, add an event for changes, and call the form submit. Then we go further down. Here we create some form data. We will create the same, but already gave forms sorting data, and we will refer to it, to this sorting form object. All right, now when we have it, we will pass another parameter. Let's call it sort. Refer to the object with the form, take its value. Hundreds. Next we go to our Ajax handler here. Come on, we will extract this object. Essentially we will have sorting. We extract this key. Sort. If there is something there, a value. If not, it will be empty. And now our task is to insert it into our request. Right here in this array, the data for sorting, we will go down below, and importantly, before calling this array. In this area, we need to insert these conditions. Now, since we have several of them, we can use the switch case construct to catch different sorts. So we use the switch case construct for the latest condition. We will have one value for, and let's immediately break for the condition. Price low to high. Another, now we will come up with it and insert it further. For I unlock. Another one and do the same for all the fields that we have. And one field remains Larike. Essentially we will have 4 conditions further. And by default there will be something. If it's an empty value or some other value that doesn't have a handler, by default, and we will sort by date. So there is our args array. We refer to the order by key. And easily set the date field in GV. And efficiently for the order key, I will set the value to disk, meaning the usual default sorting, just like the right here, not a comma. And we look at the query. If I don't have them already, there's no sorting. I don't have it. Okay. So further, the test fields. Basically what I just wrote, that is for latest, that is, I can copy paste it, insert it here. It logically fits the further by popularity. By popularity, we have a separate meta box field total sales, and we can refer to it. We refer to the array args by the key, meta key. And this key is total sales. And conditions for reconciliation need to be set. Here we can use tab, and like this neatly in one line. So here also semicolons, this is not an array. So for popularity, we also set conditions based on meta. Next, for cost, we will also use meta or with price. It is stored under the key underscore price. So I take the same thing, copy paste and high to low. We will have therefore the key price. First I set it, leave the same here and here in descending order, because from large to small and from small to large, using 5, copy paste on the contrary in ascending order. Therefore here I set the key, ask, and basically in a very simple way we implemented this option. Let's go testing it. We go to the site and refresh, but I change the value, sort by date. Nothing happens. Most likely we wrote the code in IGC and this code did not compile. We started a new lesson but did not enable the compiler. Now the compiler is running. Let's refresh the page and test. So, including it was 105, nothing happens. But it happens very quickly. So here's by latest, by popularity. Here are the first 2 blocks of ours that have sales. Remember, we simulated sales for them, and then all the others. Let's look at the cost. High to low, 39.39, and we have everything up to 39. And now it has been edited. Let's see. Low to high. Well, there's one for 29, then 33, 34, and everything is sorted. Everything works perfectly and sort by latest. I hope everything works here too, because we set a default value, which we always set hundreds of times in the press. Therefore, there's no need to test products separately. Everything worked perfectly. You got the principle. We essentially created a new form. We were forced to do it. We need this form here in another container further in JS. We took this data and passed it together to our handler. And, of course, attached the call of this function when changing specifically this form, and added additional conditions in the handler using the switch case operator. Next, to complete this lesson, we need to write a few styles so that it looks like this. Let's look at the styles we have here. I won't focus on every detail regarding the styles. That's how I want them. We don't have it in a separate Gamesbox group. It seems I said it, but it turns out I didn't. Now we'll set up a separate container. It turns out I didn't set it. Well, now yes. We will have a separate container. We're writing Taran CSS in our blog. So we need to color our H2 like therefore, we will also set styles for spin. In the previous lesson, we did this somewhere. I think here. I will choose this spin, copy its style. Where it can be remembered to do. I tell you many times that when we do a lot of copy pasting, it's more advantageous to create a global class called color somewhere, and just when we write it and also add this color to it. And then we won't have to do such manipulations, but it's also up to your discretion. Again, I repeat, I will not focus on style right now. I might not even write all the styles because we lose a lot of time on this. And my task in this course is to cover parts of WordPress and show you how on WordPress and maybe on the stove with JavaScript, how certain tricks are implemented, but definitely not in the style of CSS. For that, if there are any, there will be some other separate courses. So don't blame me if something after CSS doesn't match your expectations. I'm trying here to show everything as superficially as possible. So we continue writing the next styles. So I'm not sure if this is a variable we have, but I won't even check it right now. So wonderful. And we need to make this icon and generate it. Meaning by selecting the icon, specifically to take the SVG from here. This information, inserting it into the generator, generates the background. We'll set this background directly on the select. Well, to give everything away. I won't be able to set it on the select. Background image, I set. Next, the background position. So we'll set it according to the game code center on the x-axis at 98% somewhere. I think, but also the background repeat. I think this value, it will suit us just right. Center 90. Now we will definitely make sure of this, thoroughly check it at least. So, no, something I was giving us, let's try 50%. Or should they be set the other way around? I didn't understand. We select. Probably it should be 98 the other way around. Center. So 98 is a bit too much, probably too much actually. Let's try 96 after all. It's 95. We'll set it. We can do more, but okay, this is enough. I'm quite satisfied with this. Oh, by the way, we can increase the width because the outer fits all the text. But let's leave it as it is and move on to this block. In this block we have, and by the way, look, the container with games is not filling up. The width in the store for games is smaller than in the design for the filter. No big deal. So, games filter. Let's set styles for it. Here it is, we have it here. Let's copy these styles. Next, padding's 48. Further inside games filter item, we have a repetition, yes. And the form. I don't remember. If so, forms can apply display flex. Not sure. Let's see. If they line up now, then flex works on the forms. Oh yes, everything works perfectly. With direct alignment. So, just gap 16. Inside this form we have this container, which has a padding button, also 16 pixels, but it also has a border button. One pixel. And this color okay, this needs to be fixed. This is where the button and the last one are, but for now, we'll come up with something. Besides that, we need to set styles. This heading it is located in H5. On the site for us, display flex. X direction column. And Mr. 16 pixels. The heading has the following style. Next. The link item also has display flex. Item center. In it. Checkbox. I don't know, maybe I won't style this checkbox right now, or let's try to set basic styles. But if we encounter a problem, we'll stop and not waste time. Input with type. Checkbox. Let's disable it first. Background, transparent, width and height, 20 pixels. There was a full one here, it bothers us. Margin button, Nero. But the style is also set on it. So that's great. Now they look more compact. Here 8 pixels. Next, here we will reset the margin and try to set this background. And let's try to make it background size cover in case it is applied to the checkbox some. Not cover, but contain some custom sizes so that our little square fits in there somehow. Okay, and now we need a state for the selected checkbox. Here, it will be faster if we do it like this with paste. And the state check. And for this check, we just change the background image. Choose something. There, it works perfectly. Choose English, more. Now, let's compare with the layout. Well, at a glance, everything seems okay. Let's move down to the selects. And the selects don't have all these elements. So where we have selects, we'll just change to another class. Since for our selects additional, G, and additional things are added, they should not be present for us. Selection starts from the platforms. This is where to add select, that is an additional selector. We create it, so to speak. Well, and for the button, we'll probably insert it too, because it doesn't need a border either. Let's first of all check everything. Disappeared perfectly. But for it, we'll create a style now. So it's somewhere at this level. The select, I would probably move it outside the boundaries. From here beyond the boundaries of our box, even better. Usually this is done globally in some CSS. I won't spend time on it now, but for serious projects, of course, you should move it to another location, not locally for the block. Since select will be used everywhere, and what we need to do is pull out these buttons. Therefore, specifically in this container, select on, select, and on the button or whatever element we use there, up to the button. Let's add width of 100%. So further, it looks very wide. In my opinion, at a glance, maybe it is. 468 is too wide. For this container box using border box, by the way, border box. But if the box model is not set, the border box is usually also set globally on some global element, so you don't have to specify it separately for each box. And this needs to be resolved. We have 243. And here 261. Let's increase our value then from 243 to approximately 261. Now it is indeed happening right now. Looks like the block is complete. And we can move on to the next pages. What else can be done to improve this block? Add a render here, or add a placeholder, or leave it as it is. It all depends on the site's requirements. If there are requirements for the blocks to match this appearance, then we add them. Here you see we have a render, but some styles are not being applied, and they can be adjusted. I won't be looking to fix this right now, but keep in mind, you already know. That is, we have already gone through many lessons. We know how to build these blocks, where to edit the data, and to be honest, all the subsequent lessons will already be routine. So to speak, there are a few more pages, like the card and checkout, which we will implement in the following lessons. There is an interesting aspect to work on with them, but all the other pages, for example, this page, are already routine. They will be in the form of homework assignments, and they will take up to an hour each. Showing you what has already been demonstrated in this course will be your homework assignment. You will need to implement them. And if there are any issues, I will help you. That is, I will answer questions, but showing them in the video doesn't make sense because they are very trivial, static blocks. Therefore, the most interesting part awaits us in the cart and checkout, but otherwise you already understand the approach and can easily implement them. We will end the current lesson here. We have dealt with this filtering and we will see this block in the next lesson.